In this video, I'm going to be going over angels again, seraphims and cherubims. It would help if you watch my angelology video first. I'll put it at the end of this video. This is kind of just continuing concepts and symbolism with those things. So I would watch the angelology video first, but I'll go over it again in this video a little bit. Anyway, so in my angelology video, I go over how a seraphim is a multicolored dragon, alright? If you do a deep word study on what the word seraph means and what the word nahash means, the nahash it's the Hebrew word for the snake in the garden. And a seraph, you have to add up all the information together and see what God is saying, okay? And in Ezekiel, it talks about how the nahash in the garden was covered in multicolored jewels, okay? And the word seraph and the word nahash, if you really do a deep word study, it means it starts turning into metals and everything. You have to add all the information together, okay? So it means burning ones. It means fiery serpent. It means fire flying serpent. Okay, because all of these attributes will start mixing together with other. You will see what I mean in a minute. Okay, the word. Remember, the word cherub means to mix. Okay, that's why in the Bible, the attributes of the seraphims and the cherubim start mixing in together, and the Ophanims. Okay, they start mixing. The attributes start mixing together because in real life, these attributes start mixing together. Okay. So, when you look up what these words mean in the original Greek and the original Hebrew and Aramaic, because that's what all the original transcripts were written in, okay? I also look up what the words mean in Akkadian and Ugarit, because those were the languages of the people back then, alright? God was using their own languages too, so they, you know what I mean? They were using. I look up what words mean in ancient languages, and it gets very interesting because these words translate into guardian, like Akkadian. The word cherub in Akkadian means guardian. All right, just like the word Nimrod in Ugarit means spotted panther. That's not all a coincidence. These were the languages in the ancient world. So obviously, these people knew what these words meant, okay? It just adds more meaning to what these words mean. It adds another dimension to what these words mean. Don't just look up what it means in English, okay? You gotta look up the root words in Hebrew, in Aramaic, and in Greek. And you can probably even keep going, anyway. And on top of what the words mean, I have to read what the Bible says they looked like, kind of. Okay, and you have to think multidimensionally. When it says when these things have 6 wings, it doesn't say what size the wings are. We assume the wings are all the same sizes. All right, we assume that for some reason we assume all these heads are on human bodies. It doesn't say which bodies it used. These heads could all be on lions' bodies, or these heads can all be on eagles' bodies, right? We just assume it's the human body. And quite frankly, you need to understand all of it, because you will see that it is all mixed around in every culture. Alright? All the attributes are mixed around. And in this video, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to talk about throne guardians, I'm not going to talk about kingdoms necessarily, I'm talking about the actual wings covering the cherubim and the deeper warning and definition of this, okay? And the philosophy behind covering your mouth, eyes, and wings as well. And I'm going to show you some pictures. Seraphims and cherubims, if you read the descriptions, it has wings covering its wings and feathers covering its face. It doesn't matter if it's covering its eyes or it just means it's surrounding the face or head, okay? It's very important. I'm going to show you pictures of what I mean. Okay, cherubims have wings covering their body, faces, and feet. Seraphims have wings covering their faces, bodies, and feet, okay? The snake in the garden was probably a seraphim before he fell, okay? He was that type of angel. But these angels, the attributes get all mixed together because they all share attributes with one another. God does it too, but right now I'm just talking about the bad ones, okay? I will make videos on the good ones, but those videos are going to have to come later because it's going to be very, very involved. I have to go over a lot more things. Alright. So, seraphims and cherubims, they are covering their bodies with wings, and they're covering their faces and eyes with wings, and their feet. Alright? The seraphim in the garden was a multicolored feathered or multicolored scaled creature. Okay, even if he was a man, he could be transforming into a man. All of that philosophy, I believe, it implies. All right, but the attributes of the seraphim of it and cherubims, okay, of them covering their face and their body and their feet. God uses all of this, okay? I'm not saying that this stuff isn't accurate. This stuff is accurate. God uses all of this information, okay? He multiplies the meaning behind the passages, okay? So I'm going to show you some pictures that really shows what I'm talking about, or what God's talking about. Alright, so again, I'm just talking about the bad seraphims and cherubims, okay? The bad representations of fallen angels, fallen Ophanims, fallen cherubims, and fallen seraphims. They all share attributes because they are sharing the same attributes. Again, I'm showing pictures of bad ones, not good ones. I'm going to repeat myself a lot in this video. I'm definitely going to repeat myself a lot. Okay, so seraphims and cherubims have wings or feathers on their head or surrounding their face, wings covering their body, and wings on their feet. Alright? These are, okay, wings everywhere. Multicolored wings, it doesn't matter if it's one color, it doesn't matter if it's many colors, because it's multicolored, shape-shifting coloring of wings, alright? Alright. This man, or this Greek god, has wings around its head and wings on its feet. This is a representation of a bad fallen cherubim or bad fallen seraphim. These warriors who represent the kingdom, a bad kingdom, still have feathers on their head or wings covering their head. Doesn't matter which way, alright? The devil will just switch it around so it seems completely different. These are still representations of the bad cherubims and bad seraphims, okay? This is still metal-looking wings covering your body, because even if you do go through translations, the snake in the garden is turning into metal too, okay? He starts changing into bronze and iron, okay? You have to use all the information together, all of it. So these men who are fighting for the evil cherubims and seraphims, okay? They still have feathers on their head, or feathers surrounding their face, and their body is still covered in feathers. Even them covering themselves with a round shield or a shield covered in feathers is still covering yourself in the Ophanim. And please remember that these visions from Ezekiel and Isaiah were written 500 years before the Greeks and the Romans came. Okay? He was warning them. Alright? And he still uses the same exact words and thoughts to warn us today. I'll get to that in a minute. This is still a representation of a cherubim or seraphim with feathers surrounding an eye or eyeballs, okay? This is still of the kingdom that represents an evil cherubim / seraphim. Again, I want to point out that these seraphims and cherubims don't really look like that, alright? When you die, if you haven't been saved, these things are disgusting, alright? These Greek gods and all these men, they are disgusting. These gods are they're demons. They're disgusting. They're bent and distorted animals, alright? They're disgusting. The devil wants you to think that these things are cool, and they're not cool, alright? And also, I'm going to show you some more stuff, but listen to me. Every single race is in trouble, okay? Every single race has witchcraft, alright? Every single race is guilty of witchcraft, alright? There are good Native Americans who are in heaven. I know many Native Americans who worship Jesus. There are plenty of Native Americans in heaven. There are plenty of East Indian people in heaven. There are plenty of Asian people in heaven, alright? But they are in heaven because they chose Jesus over whatever people told them what their culture is, alright? There are all kinds of, God loves every race. This is not about race. It doesn't matter which race you are. You cannot worship the devil and do witchcraft. The devil is tricking you. He will use race to say, well, this is your culture. This is your cult. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Alright? No, it's a trick. Every single person has to accept Jesus. It doesn't matter what race you are. Culture is a trick. Alright? You are in a cult. It's called culture for a reason. You are in a cult of the evil cherubim. Alright? There are plenty of good Native Americans in heaven. Alright? There are plenty of good Asian people in heaven. But these are representations of the bad cherubim. Alright? This is still covering your face and surrounding your face with wings of the cherubim. This is still having wings on your feet, covering your feet and your tail, wings at your tail, like the Seraphim has wings on its tail, and feathers surrounding your face. It's still attributes of a cherubim and seraphim. This is the exact same concept. This is still covering your face and your head with feathers of a cherubim. Okay, again, I need to go over the Ophanim. Alright, Ophanim is it translates into whirlwinds. It translates into whirlwinds and fiery wheels. Metal, any kind of metal, because the metals change too, okay? Because all the attributes start blending in together. That's why people get so confused when they read the description of the angels. All of a sudden it's the cherubims that have eyes all over, and you're like, what is going on? Because these guys are all switch attributes with each other. They're all related to each other. They switch attributes with each other, alright? Anyway, an Ophanim has it's fiery wheels. I already talked about how this is talking about crowns, because if you read the ancient world, that words out of their own mouth is, we have eyes around our head, okay, and they would wear crowns as a representation of eyes around our head, okay, and so they would also use, please remember that eyes also mean jewels, okay, they mean multicolored jewels, alright. Back then, eyes equaled jewels. That's why on some of these statues, they would actually put jewels as the eyes. Okay, so these pictures of jewels around your head, okay, with feathers, is still mixing up the attributes of an Ophanim. Okay, see, these have eyes on their head. There's these jewels around your head is still covering your head around with the Ophanim. It's also including the makeup, okay? You putting wings around your eyes comes from the Nephilim, okay? They're the ones who told people to start painting their faces to look like them, alright? They told them, hey, draw wings around your eyes. Do you know why? Can I tell you why all these people are dressing like this? Okay, why they started to do it? And in witchcraft, the more you dress and act like an entity, the more they attach themselves to you. The more you dress and act like an entity, the more they attached you become to them. That's why the devil really wants you to be dressing up like this, okay? It's not innocent, okay? And people think that just because they're not literally seeing gremlins while running around, that they're not under the influence of the demonic realm. You not caring about other people and you not caring about God and just caring about money is you under the influence of the demonic realm, okay? me showing you obvious pictures that these guys were worshiping the devil, and me showing you over and over again that the Bible's real and that God is real, and you not caring, is you being blinded by the feathers of the serpent still, okay? That's you still under the influence of the devil. You just not caring about anything besides watching TV all day is you under the influence of the devil still. Alright? Alright, I actually have a really scary story about the TV and a demon, okay? I'll bring it up another time because I don't really want to talk about it right now. But a multicolored eyeball is still a window. It's still a window. It's still describing a TV, okay? God literally describes everything. You just have to think a little bit. It's really not that hard, alright? This is still a one-eyed giant giving you false light of the devil, okay? The devil uses the TV to give you false light. Light is like having bright ideas, right? You gotta use play on words. I believe I will act like all these people on these TV shows and movies, and this is what I'm supposed to do with my life, right? You watching TV all day, okay? You watching TV all day, and playing on your phone all day will definitely lead you to hell. This is still covering your face, body, and feet of the false light, the false twinkling, shape-shifting lights of the devil, okay? Because you are wasting your life. I'm not saying you can watch TV every now and then. You can watch a show every now and then. I'm talking about if that's all you're doing with your life, okay? You are still covering your body with the false light of the devil. We literally base our whole reality on what we see on the TV. Alright, well, you watch TV long enough, you're going to start thinking the people and the actors and the characters on your TV are how you're supposed to be acting. Oh, shooting each other and killing each other is just normal. Dead bodies all over the place on TV, so if you see a dead body all over in real life, it's the same thing, right? It's not a big deal, right? Oh, people having sex every 2 seconds on the TV, that must be normal. I think I'll start doing that. I think I'll start copying the people and characters on this TV because that's cool, right? No, you're still covering yourself. You're still copying the devil in the garden, okay? You're still emulating him. Okay. Well, sometimes I get comments, well, why are you always downplay the TV and the internet? Then why are you on the internet? Because you are allowed to use tools of the devil to bring people to Christ. That is a constant theme in the Bible. Alright? That happens so much times in the Bible. When David took a little musical instrument from the giant clans and made the book of Psalms, okay? Some of them. Okay, you are allowed to use instruments of the devil to bring people to Christ. It's all belongs to God anyway. It's not his anyway. He's the one that twisted it all around in the first place. It's not hypocritical. You're supposed to do that. Okay? You have to use discernment, of course. You're allowed to use tools. That's exactly what happened in the book of Esther. Remember when the bad guy built the gallows for Mordecai? If you don't know the story, let me go over it real fast. I'm kind of getting off topic. Anyway, so the king's servant, the Persian king's servant, he built the gallows to hang Mordecai on, and he ended up being the one being hanged on it. All right, use the devil's own tricks against him. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're allowed to use tools of the devil to bring people to Christ. That's what you're supposed to be doing. It's not hypocritical. It's common sense. Of course, the devil wants you to keep your eyes closed, and he wants to keep you quiet if you know Jesus. He's the one that wants to keep the feathers around your mouth. Okay? Shh, don't tell anybody about Jesus. Don't say anything. He's the one that wants to keep the feathers around your mouth. It's the same philosophy. Okay, so this is the same thing. These holidays, these celebrations, they're rituals, ancient rituals. Okay, and we just blindly do it. We don't know why. We just think it's fun or something. Mardi Gras and all that stuff is still covering your face with feathers. Wearing masks is all about the serpent's feathers, these cherubim's feathers over your face, okay? It's the same thing. God warns you about all this stuff. Of course, Ezekiel and Isaiah weren't seeing all this stuff. God is manifesting. He's multiplying the meaning behind the words. He's the one multiplying the meaning behind the words. He's the one manifesting the meaning. He's the one putting 1,000 pictures for a few words. You know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, a few words is worth 1,000 pictures. Okay, that's what God is doing with the Bible. Okay, this symbol is evil, obviously, but this symbol is all over ancient cultures because why? It's a symbol for a fallen Ophanim. It is a symbol for a fallen spinning wheel that turned bad. All right. This ghosts are still this. They have the wings covering their body and face and feet. It's still talking about ghosts too. This is still, God warns you about everything, but you just have to look at it through symbolism. Okay? He gives you multi-layered symbolism. Okay? He only gives you a little bit and you have to connect the dots because he doesn't have time to go over every little thing. He uses one sentence to manifest 10,000 pictures. Okay? He multiplies the words behind the Bible. This is still flying with your arms and legs and feet. Ghosts come from the serpent in the garden, okay? They are still a cherub, a fallen vision of a cherubim, okay? They still cover the fallen wings of a cherubim and seraphim. Ghosts are demons, you guys. They are not human beings roaming the earth. Human beings are either in heaven or they are in hell. If you go to hell, you are not roaming around hotel rooms scaring people. You wish. Those are demons. There are no such thing as a good ghost. Okay? The devil knows you like little kids, so they act like little kids. Alright? They mimic sounds like little kids. Okay? They can shapeshift their voices. They can shapeshift their bodies. Okay, I'm going to talk a little about characters now, movie characters. Okay, this is still a symbol for a fallen cherubim who covers its mouth and eyes and its body with its wings. All these Greek gods and superheroes and characters on TV who have capes. Capes are still considered wings, alright? These are all still covering their bodies with wings of a cherub. Good ones? No. Bad ones. And not to mention all these superheroes. I already mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm going to say it again. They're literally covered in scales. Do you not notice that these things are covered in scales? Okay, they're covered in the multicolored scales of the cherubim. Or seraphim. Go ahead and pick which one. It doesn't matter. And not to mention, capes themselves represents a king or a prince. Do you think these are good princes or bad princes? Do these represent God at all? The God of the Bible? No. And by the way, real fast, the Superman's name is Kal-El, right? Well, according to the Dead Sea Scrolls, Hel-El is the name of a fallen angel. All right. It just has a K in front of it. It's totally different. No. All right. That's Hebrew poetry. Just switching a letter around and it being the same person is Hebrew poetry. This is not feathers and wings at your feet and hands, okay? But this is still flying with your feet and hands. This is still the same concept, okay? All these characters represent evil cherubims and seraphims. And clowns are still the trickster spirit, okay? Clowns are still a multicolored faced, horned seraphim or cherubim representation, okay? It's still, and clowns come from the ancient times. No one's had an original idea since God, okay? These things, these are demonic. Clowns are demonic. That's why so many people are scared of them, because somewhere inside them, something is telling them to be scared of clowns. All right, clowns still represent a face covering of the multicolored feathered serpent. This is still feathers on your feet or wings on your feet symbolism. Alright? It's just, you cannot be obsessed with sports. Alright? You can't be obsessed with sports teams and sports stars. You have to put Christ first, and no one does that. That's why most people, it says over and over again, prophetic and minority. How many people love Jesus over sports? Like, do you even know any? How many people love Jesus over superheroes and TV and any of these false gods? Not very many, right? The sad thing is, you can still love Christ and enjoy some of the stuff. You can still have Christ in your life and be into sports. But there's a difference, because what's happening is you're making these men and these sports into idols, okay? You can still watch TV, a little bit of TV. You can still enjoy nature, but you are worshiping nature and you are worshiping the TV when you don't have Christ in your life. It will become an idol real fast. This is going to be a hard one. Okay, I can just do this with every single army on earth, okay? But I'm just doing the American army because preachers always make it seem like America is so innocent or something, and God hates every other country besides America. That is ridiculous, man. Okay? Listen to me. This is still covering your body and your head with the chameleon spirit of the snake in the garden. Okay? You can change any of his color. You can change his color. Okay? Listen to me, it's still possible for you to be in the armed forces and get to heaven, but it's not likely, okay? If you join the army because you saw a bunch of violent movies when you were a kid, and so when you grew up you wanted to shoot people, you will be going to hell, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're shooting people. Every single country thinks they're the best country. Every single race thinks that they're the best race. Every single army thinks they're the best army. Alright? Listen to me. It's still possible for you to be in the armed forces and be saved, but it's not likely. I will say, keep repeating myself. You cannot kill other people for property. You cannot kill other people for oil. You cannot kill other people, even if those people are just as lost as you are. Okay? It doesn't matter. Well, they're ISIS. They're evil. It doesn't matter. Okay? You have to be saved by God to really understand what I'm talking about, okay? It's still possible for you to be in the army and be saved, but it's not likely. Listen, I know war is very complicated. It's very, very complicated. I understand you can't just let people drop atom bombs on us, or we can't drop atom bombs on them. I understand you can't just let the Holocaust keep going. You have to go in there and stop it. It's complicated. It gets complicated. It's not all just black and white. But one thing that is black and white, it doesn't matter if you saved billions of people, you will still not be saved. Okay, you have to have Jesus Christ to save you. Alright? War is complicated, but it doesn't matter if you're the best war hero on earth and you saved billions of people, you still have to have the blood of Christ to go to heaven. Okay? I know war is complicated, but you always still have to have Christ to be the winner of your entire life and your eternity. Okay? Remember, when you die, it's forever. Okay? It's forever and ever and ever and ever. You have to have Christ to get into forever. Okay? You cannot get your you have to put the kingdom of God above all your country. Any country. I'm talking to everybody right now. Okay? You have to put the army of Jesus Christ above your country's army, okay? You can go watch a bunch of hell testimonies, okay? Every single army is in hell, alright? Every single army is in hell. I don't think it's funny. This isn't funny. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of these people. I am telling you that you need to repent, and you need to focus on Christ other than getting revenge on countries, alright? Alright, so there's just too much philosophy behind this, but the devil wants you blind. He wants you blind and dumb. He doesn't want you to hear and see what's really going on, alright? He wants you too involved with your own sin, blinded and deaf by your own sin and your own hatred for everyone else, so you can't even see what's really going on. He has you blinded by your phones, blinded by your TV, blinded by your internet, that you cannot even see him coming. Turning your face away and clogging your ears with scales of the serpent and ignoring it will lead you into a very bad place. You wanna kill people. You wanna cover yourself and think you're a big shot on earth. You wanna cover yourself in money and gold and diamonds. That's what's going to happen to you. Okay? You wanna be a king of the earth. God's going to make you. He's going to give you a crown in hell. Okay? But trust me, it's going to still be melted and on fire. Okay? He's going to make these spinning wheels of fire for real. He's going to make these fiery serpents real. These fire crowns real. Alright? In a way that you just haven't thought of yet. In a very bad way. Alright? Alright? So please think about what I'm saying. Now, I have to do a good version of this. Okay? You are supposed to be covering yourself with the body and blood of Jesus Christ. That is the anointed cherub you are supposed to be covering yourself with. Alright? That is supposed to be the good covering of this version of this. And if you don't do that, you will always end up into this place. Alright? Alright. Think about it. Thank you.